Welcome back to The Explainer. Today we're diving into something that literally every single one of us has to deal with at some point, the actual purpose behind unexpected difficulties. Let's get right into it.
So, is your pain pointless? I mean, it's incredibly easy to feel that way when hardship just comes completely out of nowhere, right? We naturally wonder, why me? Why right now? But what we're unpacking today suggests that what feels like random, absolutely pointless suffering is actually often a carefully constructed prerequisite for a much, much greater victory. But to understand how that works, we kind of need to look at how we behave when things are going, well, perfectly.
Because think about it. When life is good and only good, we are so easily distracted. We just bounce from dominating a video game to scrolling through our social media statuses to hanging out at restaurants with friends. And in the midst of just chilling and enjoying the ride, keeping a deeper connection with the divine is often just completely left out of the picture. We get perfectly comfortable soaking up all these benefits without even a second thought about where the blessings are coming from.
But then, suddenly, life flips. The source uses this really vivid, relatable example. What happens when your health is just gone? Instantly, literally none of those previous distractions mean a thing. Dominating that video game doesn't feel good anymore. That fancy car sitting in the driveway, totally irrelevant. When you're lying there, the hospital bed is all that matters. You just want to walk again. That comfortable, easy baseline we took for granted gets completely shattered.
And this brings us to a really fascinating clash of expectations. We live in this hyper-consumer society where we are so used to instantaneous results. You want something, you order it online, and boom, it's at your door. But we mistakenly apply this exact same Amazon Prime mindset to our spiritual lives and our prayers. And honestly, our expectation for instant delivery, it sets us up to fail completely when we face real hardships that require genuine, deep patience.
The source hits the nail on the head here. It says, if one order of yours is 2 days late, you're going to give it a 1-star bad rating. And wow, don't we take that exact same attitude toward the divine sometimes? We make a request, we ask for a problem to be solved immediately, and when it doesn't happen right that second, we act like we just got terrible customer service. We fall right into this trap of entitlement, turning away just frustrated that our order wasn't fulfilled on our exact timeline. To break out of that entitled mindset, we really need to understand a crucial concept from the source regarding our inner state, Iman. Now, Iman is faith that resides deep within the heart. It's a hidden internal state. It can't be heard and it cannot be judged by others. But this is the absolute core of where true resilience comes from. It's the anchor that grounds you when the outward circumstances of your life are just falling apart.
The source draws this really fascinating line between our outward actions and our inward faith. Islam, in this context, is described as outward. It's binary. You either have it or you don't. But Iman, true inner faith, that's entirely different. It's in the heart, it's completely hidden, and most importantly, it fluctuates. And this matters because if someone shows even a tiny bit of outward faith, we absolutely must give them the benefit of the doubt that they hold this deep inner Iman in their hearts.
Think of it like this. Imagine your heart is a container holding water. Now, that water is never stationary. Sometimes the container is totally full, sometimes it's half depleted, and sometimes you are running on just a few tiny drops. It's a dynamic, fluctuating level that we constantly have to manage. And when times get incredibly tough, that water level can drop dangerously low.
So how do we keep that faith container filled? Well, it doesn't always require these grand, monumental gestures. Think of this as your everyday toolkit for spiritual resilience. Just moving a rock from a walking path. Simply smiling at your brother or sister. Performing continuous small good deeds. Every single time you do one of these things, out of the 70 parts of faith, a few more drops go right back into your container. It's a very active, daily practice. But we do have to ask ourselves a critical question here. What happens when severe hardship drains that container way faster than we can fill it? You know what I mean? What happens when you are pushed to the absolute edge, your health is gone, your plans are totally ruined, and you just feel like you're running on empty? Because, guys, this is the ultimate testing ground for our inner trust. When we hit that absolute edge, the source points out that we really only have two choices. Option 1, we complain. We get bitter. We ask, why did he do this to me? I was so happy. Or option 2, we lean into trust. We use that exact hardship to earn true humility, realizing that, hey, even our perfect days were essentially on life support all along. Every single breath, every blessing was provided for us, not necessarily earned by us. And fully recognizing that, it's a massive shift in perspective. And that shift, it completely reframes our darkest moments.
The source suggests something incredibly beautiful here, that the sweetest moments of your entire life might actually be when you are crying, alone, in a hospital room. Why? Because in that exact moment, stripped of the video games, the friends, the nice car, you have absolutely nothing between you and the divine. Those moments of pure, unadulterated vulnerability might literally be the greatest gift you ever receive.
Now let's zoom out a bit to the grander timeline of hardship. Because sure, we all want that Amazon Prime speed for our relief, but the source contrasts two really famous stories. Take Moose's mother. She had to put her baby in the water, but her relief came in just a few hours. By the next feeding, they were united. But then look at Jacob. He also lost his child, Yusuf, but his relief didn't come for years. He cried until he actually went blind waiting. The timeline of relief isn't up to us, but in both of these timelines, there is a profound ultimate good.
Let's trace Yusuf's timeline to understand this deeper, because it's a perfect example. Yusuf's life was this long chain of seemingly unfair, brutal suffering. Years as a child servant, then unjustly thrown into prison, spending many more years as an inmate. From the outside, it looks like a terrible, wasted life. But then, one day, he interprets the king's dream. Because of that one act, he becomes Treasury Secretary. And over the next few years, he literally saves the entire region from starvation.
And right there is where the hidden purpose is finally revealed. Why did Yusuf have to suffer in that specific prison cell for all those years? Well, because if he hadn't been in that cell, he never would have met the people who eventually led him to the king. If he hadn't interpreted that dream, the economy would have completely collapsed. Drought and starvation were prevented entirely because he was perfectly positioned to handle a crisis no one else could. Yes, one father, Jacob, cried for years, but his tears and Yusuf's hardship spared hundreds of thousands of other parents from crying over starving children.
Which brings us to this absolutely incredibly powerful quote from the source. Maybe through your difficulty, you will become a sadaqah jariyah, a continuous charity for so many others. Guys, this just shatters the idea that your pain is pointless. Your difficulty isn't just about you. The suffering you're enduring right now, the patience you're actively building while your faith container is running on drops, it's an investment. It might literally be the exact training ground required for you to become a source of relief for people you haven't even met yet.
So I want to leave you with this final provocative thought today. Take a look at your own life right now. Look at the delayed prayers, those unexpected trials, the moments where you feel entitled to a quick fix. What greater purpose is your current hardship preparing you for? If we can just drop that consumer mindset and keep replenishing our faith with small good deeds, you might just find that your darkest moments are setting the stage for an incredible victory. Trust the timeline. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I really hope this helps you find strength in whatever challenges you're facing today.